Okay, we're going to go over the problem that we did in class. On this problem, we're working with a single dimensional array, and what you need to do is load a 10 element integer array with the numbers between 0 and 4, so a random generator. All the indexes inside this program, they must be variables. You're not going to hard code any of them. Now, the purpose of this is you have a listing of the indexes and you have a listing of the elements that are generated. What you're wanting to do is, while you're processing this array, you want to be able to look at all of the elements you've already processed, add them up so you're doing a running total, and then I want to compare the total up to and including the element I've processed up to, and compare it to the total of all the elements I have not processed yet. If those two totals match, then I want to print the word balanced between them. So for instance, whenever I process elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, positions 0 through 5, when I add all of those up as I'm doing my running total, I'm going to come up with the number 10. Now, is that total on the top the same as the total of all the elements that are left, which will be starting in position 6, so the 2, the 4, the 8, and the 0. When you total those up, does that give me a balanced position? So since the total of all the top ones that I've processed is exactly the same as the total of all the bottom ones that I'm wanting to process, then I'm going to print the words balanced. And here's several examples. Now, I could say what this process does several times, several different ways, to try and get you to see how you'd want to do it, to find the pattern. There's actually a few ways to do this, and we're going to show both ways. Your best bet, if you don't see the pattern just immediately when I'm looking at this visually, follow it again. Write it down. When I process index 0, the first element, my total's going to be 4. Then when I go to the next one, the total's going to be 0. Then when I process the next one, the top is 0. Now every time I'm adding these, I also have to know what the total is of all of them that are left that I have not processed. So I've said this 2 different ways, so hopefully you'll be able to figure it out. We're going to do it the shortest way first, so let's head over to Eclipse. Now I've went ahead and just started this because I know you already know how to create classes, main, and I'm going to call mine top total and bottom total. Since it's a single dimensional array, you know you have to have at least one index. Create the array, and now I've got to load it. Now what I'm going to work with here is I'm going to load the array one number at a time, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to get a total of the entire array. Now that's going to set me up so whenever I want to find out if my line item is balanced. Okay? So you can pause it right now and see if you can figure this out yourself before I bring the code up. Alright, so I already have the bottom total. Now the purpose of this is pretty easy. I have to go back and process the array so I can do my running total. So I have my for loop. As I add each element to my top, I subtract it from my overall bottom balance. So it's like you're moving it from your top total to your bottom total. And then I can compare them. If it's not equal, then I just print out my index and my element. If it is equal, then I want to add the word balanced after my print. So that one was actually pretty short. Again, it's just like every time you process an element, you move it from your bottom total into your top total. So it's a plus equal on the top, a minus equal on the bottom. That's just one way to do it. Okay? The next video will show the second way to do it.